Sienna God, hello all. Good afternoon, Wado. Thank you for watching. So this is day 2 of reading Hollywood Babylon by Kenneth Angers. Y'all. Okay, so that suite where Fatty Arbuckle just basically tortured that lady and took advantage of her. I mean, all this is an understatement. And then she succumbed to her wounds. Here's the picture of the suite in the hotel, and it says suite 1221 at the St. Francis, and it says a heavy wrap. I don't know what that means, but here's the suite. It's destroyed. I mean, my God. Oh, let me see here. So it says, when Fatty Arbuckle was charged with the Virginia rape and murder, all the world knew the name of Virginia Rape, or Rap. I'm not really sure how do you say that. R-A-P-P-E. The state of California blamed her death on quote-unquote external pressure applied by Arbuckle during sexual dalliance, D-A-L-L-I-A-N-C-E, a forlorn fame for Virginia, a heavy rap for Fatty in quote-unquote murder one. The shockwaves coming from San Francisco that September nearly shook Hollywood to its newly laid foundations. It was all too unbelievable. Fatty, Kitty's favorite, Riot O laughs, balloonatic. So it says Riot and then O with a little apostrophe, L-A-F-F-S, balloonatic. Champion of good, clean slapstick fun, suddenly featured in a movie star death orgy. Excuse me. Witness Maud Delmont. So here's the lady that was the witness for that. Hopefully she's standing proud, because I'm going to tell you that takes a lot, and it's really cool that she did that. And it says the tabloid touch Arbuckle art. So it's looks like a champagne bottle, and then it has his picture, and then I think that's Virginia's picture underneath it. But it could be that other lady, is the lady who testified or whatever, the witness. Arbuckle orgy raper. Arbuckle orgy raper dances while victim dies. What? As headlines scream, the rumors flew of a hideously unnatural rape. Arbuckle, enraged at his drunken impotence, had ravaged Virginia with a Coca-Cola bottle or a champagne bottle, then had repeated the act with a jagged piece of ice, or wasn't it common knowledge that Arbuckle was exceptionally well endowed? Or was it just a question of 266 pounds too much of Fatty flattening Virginia in a flying leap? Oh my God. What was certain was a leap in circulation. The tabloids had a field day printing insinuations about Arbuckle's quote-unquote bottle party. The San Francisco Examiner editorialized, in quotes, Hollywood must stop using San Francisco for a garbage can, end quote. The coroner was quoted as demanding, end quote, steps to prevent a further occurrence of such events so that San Francisco will not be made the rendezvous of the debauch and gangster, D-E-B-A-U-C-H-E-E, and gangster. San Francisco churches demanded retribution for the, end quote, sex mad maniac from Hollywood, end quote, who chose law-abiding San Francisco for his, quote unquote, shameful revels, R-E-V-E-L-S. In Hartford, Connecticut, women vigilantes ripped down the screen in a theater shown an Arbuckle comedy. While in Thermopolis, Wyoming, cowhands shot up the screen of a movie house showing an Arbuckle short. Barrages of bottles and eggs were reported as a quote-unquote lynch Fatty mood swept the land. Vigilante groups demanded a cleanup of the whole Hollywood colony. Arbuckle's films were withdrawn. You don't hear about that, do you? Because I was like sitting there thinking, they act like back then it was just so and everything. And the only things that people were up in arms about were like race issues. Excuse me. You don't hear about any of this stuff dealing with Hollywood or how people shot up movie screens or cut them or whatever. Anyway, I heard my son get up to go use the bathroom, and while he's sleeping right above me. And so I was just like trying to be quiet. So hopefully it still picks up well with the earbuds in. Anyway, and then I'm doing a load of wash. While Arbuckle sweated it out in a San Francisco jail, being held in custody in the grim old Kearny, Kearny Street Hall of Justice, his lawyers fought to have his first-degree murder charge changed to manslaughter. Adolf Zukor, Z-U-K-O-R, who had millions at stake on Arbuckle, phoned San Francisco District Attorney Matt Brady in an effort to quash the case. It merely outraged Brady, who later charged he had been offered a bribe. Oh, he was bribed. Wow. Or offered one. Other prominent movie colony figures called Brady to suggest that Arbuckle shouldn't be crucified just because Virginia drank too much and died. The DA was enraged at these further interventions. The trial began in mid-November 1921 in San Francisco's Superior Court, with Arbuckle taking the stand to deny any wrongdoing. His attitude seemed to be one of complete indifference to Virginia rape. At no point did he express remorse or even sorrow for her death. His lawyers were more out front. A concerted attempt was made to besmirch Virginia's character, suggesting she was quote-unquote loose. Wow. And had slept around in New York, South America, and Paris, as well as Hollywood. After much conflicting testimony, the jury favored acquitting Arbuckle by 10-2 after 43 hours deliberation. A mistrial was declared. A second trial jury went 10-2 for conviction and was dismissed. What? Fatty, who was out on bail, was forced to sell his sedate English home on West Adams Street in LA and his fleet of fancy cars to pay lawyers' fees. Despite the indignant Brady, who wanted to nail Fatty in the worst way, Arbuckle was acquitted in a third trial ending April 12, 1922, largely due to incredibly confused testimony by 40 witnesses, in parentheses, mostly drunk at the time of the incident, and close parentheses, and the lack of specific evidence, in parentheses, such as a bloody bottle, close parentheses. Man. The jury that freed Fatty made this comment, in quotes, "Acquittal is not enough for Roscoe Arbuckle. We feel a grave injustice has been done him, and there was not the slightest proof to connect him in any way with the commission of any crime." On the courtroom steps, Arbuckle told the press, in quotes, "This is the most solemn moment of my life. My innocence of the hideous charge preferred against me has been proved. I am truly grateful to my fellow men and women. My life has been devoted to the production of clean pictures for the happiness of children. I shall try to enlarge my field of usefulness so that my art shall have a wider service," end quote. And here's a picture of Virginia's headstone. It says 1895 to 1921. And it says "Trouble with Women" underneath it. And then his says "Fatty haunted by bottles." His solemn moment of hope was short-lived, however. Fatty was free but not forgiven. Henry Lerman, Lerman, Virginia's erstwhile boyfriend. Oh. And I've never heard of erstwhile, E-R-S-T-W-H-I-L-E. Anyway, had this bitter comment, end quote, "Virginia had the most remarkable determination. She would rise from the dead to defend her person from indignity. As for Arbuckle, this is what comes of taking vulgarians from the gutter. and giving them enormous salaries and making idols of them. Some people don't know how to get a kick out of life, except in a beastly way. They are the ones who participate in orgies that surpass the orgies of degenerate Rome. End quote. Or he might have added Babylon. Madame Eleanor Glynn, Glyn, the movie Colony's tone setter, took the occasion to comment on Hollywood's rotten apples. End quote. If they are flagrantly immoral, hang them. Do not show their pictures, suppress them, but do not make them all suffer for a few. This Arbuckle party was a beastly, disgusting thing, and things like it should be stamped out, but I didn't see any such things in Hollywood. And if there are dope parties there, they must be very small, end quote. Paramount canceled Arbuckle's $3 million contract. His unreleased films were junked, causing the studio a cool $1 million write-off. Fatty the Funny Man was finished. The Prince of Wales had been harpooned. Arbuckle was banned from Acton. Only a few friends like Buster Keaton remained faithful. It was Keaton who suggested Arbuckle should change his name to Will Be Good. What? Quote unquote, Will Be Good. What? He did adopt the name of William Goodrich in later years and gained employment as a gag man and comedy director, but Arbuckle wanted to act. He pleaded in the March 1931 photoplay, in quotes, just let me work. I want to go back to the screen. I think I can entertain and gladden the people that see me. All I want is that. If I do go back, it will be grand. If I don't, well, okay, end quote. Well, okay was the way it worked out. Fatty was never allowed to forget his fall from grace. People whistled, end quote, I'm coming, Virginia, end quote, when they recognized him in the street. That sticky headline ink wouldn't wash off. The part he was forced to play was Pagliacci, Pagliacci. In his forced retirement, Arbuckle took to drinking heavily. Bottles seemed to haunt him. In 1931, Fatty was arrested in Hollywood for drunk driving. As a traffic cop approached, Fatty flung a bottle from the car, laughing. End quotes, there goes the evidence, end quote. My lord. Was he thinking of another bottle that went sailing out of the 12th floor window of the Hotel St. Francis on Labor Day 1921? Broke and broken, he died at 46 in New York, June 28, 1933. Poor Fatty Lafayette Arbuckle scared Hollywood out of 10 years' growth. Hollywood now meant more than dreamland. It was forever linked with scandal in the minds of millions. This says, I don't know if they say what it says. There's a signed thing by William Desmond Taylor, and it says Dead Center. It says to Mary Miles, does it say Hunter? I don't know. God bless her, from William Taylor, 6/1/20. And it says, panic at Paramount. While Arbuckle sweltered through his second trial in San Francisco and Hollywood simmered in the glare of inflamed public opinion, a scandal broke right in the center of the film Colony. On the night of February 1st, 1921, someone killed William Desmond Taylor February 1st, 1922. I hope I said that right. Someone killed William Desmond Taylor in the study of his bungalow court apartment on Alvarado Street in LA's Placid Westlake district. Taylor was chief director of Famous Players Lasky, LASKY, a Paramount subsidiary. Paramount, which had its hands full with Arbuckle, could now thank its lucky stars for another scandal. The body was discovered the following morning by Taylor's Negro manservant, Henry Peavey, Peavey. Taylor lay on his back on the floor of the study as if in a trance, his arms straight out, a chair fallen over his legs. Robbery was not the motive. His large, quote-unquote, lucky diamond ring, in parentheses, he had worn it since the success of his last film, The Diamond from the Sky, close parentheses, still shone on his finger. Peavey ran, emitting a soprano scream, in quotes, Dave, DEY''VE, Kilt, KILT, Massa, MASSA. Dave Kilt Massa. in parentheses, as reported in the Los Angeles Examiner, close parentheses, waking up the other residents of the court, including Edna Purviance, Purviance, who had immediately placed a phone call to Mabel, or Mabel, Mabel, Mabel Normand. Mabel called Charles Eaton, Eyton, general manager of Famous Players Lasky, who in turn called the Paramount super chief, Adolph Zucker. Edna placed another call to Paramount star Mary Miles Minter. She could not be reached. The message was left with her mother, Mrs. Charlotte Shelby. None of these saw fit to notify the police. That's what I was wondering while I was reading this. Anybody call the popo? I'm just saying. They all had urgent business to attend to first. Mabel rushed to Taylor's to retrieve a bundle of her correspondence. Charles Eaton rushed to Taylor's to get rid of all the illegal liquor. In parentheses, dead or alive, a Paramount director must not be found violating the 18th Amendment. In close parentheses, Adolph Zucker rushed to Taylor's to clean up any signs of sexual hanky-panky. Charlotte Shelby rushed to her daughter Mary with the news, which precipitated an unseemly match of shouted hysterics. Henry Peavy, the soprano manservant, traipsed up and down sedate Alvarado Street like a demented thing, incessantly screaming, "Dave killed Massa, Dave killed Massa," until much later some neighbor phoned the cops to, end quote, "come collect the crazy coon," end quote. Representatives of the law did eventually arrive. When the police arrived at Taylor's bungalow later that morning, a busy scene was underway. Merry flames blazed in the fireplace, fed compromising papers by Paramount's top brass. Oh wow. While Edna Purviance looked on, Mabel Normand, the Senate heroine, was poking into nooks and crannies for misplaced correspondence. Now I wonder, how many times does that happen? You know what I mean? Like still, to this day, how many times? Nobody calls the police. Everybody tries to clean everything up that may or may not do with the crime scene. Who knows? I'm just saying. And Paramount's like a little, have they cleaned up their act? I don't know. The still eye of the hurricane was Taylor's corpse on the study floor, 238 bullets in his heart. There might have been some hope of solving the enigma if the Paramount bigwigs had not swooped down on the dead man's house to cosmeticize the scene. It is more than likely that significant clues were incinerated by Zucker and Eaton in Taylor's fireplace. Zucker, Eaton, and Co. did not, however, have time to complete their house cleaning. When the homicide squad descended on the Taylor bungalow, all kinds of things came to light. The cops uncovered a cache of pornographic photographs hidden behind some scenarios at the bottom of a drawer. These whimsical portraits of the dead man in the identifiable company of several female stars confirmed his reputation as a Lothario, Lothario, if not his tact. Several prominent actresses were questioned, including Mary Pickford, whose large framed photograph inscribed to Taylor was found. The photograph curiosities contributed nothing to solve the case. Mary Pickford said she would pray. Here is Lothario Taylor. And then this one is Mary Miles Minter, Demure Innocence, question mark. When Mabel Normand was questioned about her early morning browse, she candidly admitted that she had been looking for letters she had written to Taylor. To prevent them being examined by outsiders, she commented, end quotes, "I admit this, but it was only for one purpose, to prevent terms of affection from being misconstrued," end quote. In open parentheses, the letters were later found tucked into one of Taylor's riding boots, close parentheses. Further sleuthing in the Taylor study shook loose a letter hidden between the pages of White Stains, a book of erotica by Aleister Crowley. And we'll leave it at that. Don't have to go hang, hey, you in a good shot skate till we meet again. Love you, mean it.